This is Boxing UK. My name is Hrgovic. I'm here with Kalle Sauerland. Kalle, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, my friend. I'm doing well.
Misfits number 4. These are picking up some momentum and steam.
Yeah, we're working on 5 and 6 as we speak. You know, my partner Mams Taylor, he's putting together the cards 5, 6. I think we're even looking already at venues for 7. So that's all in the first half of next year. So UK, US, and potentially a little trip abroad as well from those two.
Can you just confirm, as the card how it currently stands, would there be any additions to the card?
The way it stands right now, we're very happy with. I mean, it's I think the biggest ever crossover boxing card. Certainly the most expensive one. It's 7 fights, so no, we're very happy with that. You know, it is boxing. Sometimes there's dropouts, and then we might look at replacing something. But right now, we're more than happy with it, and the feedback's been fantastic.
So you're a man that's been around boxing for many years in many different circumstances.
2 decades, yes.
2 decades. No one's counting. A man not showing up to a press conference. What does that tell you?
It always depends on the situation. I read into today's one. They probably looked at it and said to themselves, right, it's less than a month to go. They've got to get here 7 to 10 days before. Which, if you read into a camp, of course, it is a bit of a pain. You know, but that's part of the business. But it's not like he's a 40 fight pro. Yeah, so it's something that in this space is of course done differently. You know, they do a lot online and they see that as being adequate. Whereas I like a face-to-face at a press conference, and I guess we had that in Austin, and you know, whether it was mind games as such today, a bit of that, like why did it only appear on the video link, for example, but he did a video link with him the other day. Was it to say, well, this is sort of KSI's press day and I'm not going to play second fiddle? Maybe it was a mind game, I don't know, I'm just putting it out there. At the same time, I think you know, we're okay for the promotional part of it. We got enough footage from Texas.
I've been footage from Texas.
I'm still polishing off the old. I don't know what it was. It was a cafe au lait with a lot of sugar in it. I hope he's not having sugar like that every day in his coffee.
You managed to get those stains out of you from the dry cleaners?
Actually, I haven't had it back yet. So I'll be taking Dylan shopping when he comes over. He can buy me a new coat.
Definitely deserved. And of course, today we mentioned some quite big names, like Wayne Rooney, Matt Hancock, Andrew Tate.
Matt Hancock,
these guys involved.
It's going out there, isn't it? Everyone's talking about Matt Hancock. I should put more names out there. Listen, I think, you know, we've been a reasonable age, of course. Yeah? I think anyone can do this who's got that public profile, who is prepared to dedicate themselves to the sport of boxing. It's novice boxing. So you don't need to have an amateur record, pro record, but what you do need is the will to go through a very serious training camp to get onto one of the shows. That's pretty much what it is.
A fight that will catch my attention would be Priti Patel, Liz Truss. Make it happen.
Fantastic fight. That's a.
Just give my 2% commission and I'll be happy.
I think I go for Priti with knockout though, early rounds as well. I think they come out swinging. I think Priti catches them with an uppercut.
And just on some of the other boxing news that we've been going through, of course, Smith Eubank has been announced.
Eubank Smith, yes, I'll correct you on that.
Let me put it right way around. Eubank Smith.
A-side first, baby.
A-side. He's not even 60% for this one. He said 50.
48.75 this morning.
And plus he's going to be on a full camp of KFC. How did that deal come about?
I don't know. You know, he's such a big fan. I think it's, you know, he goes to KFC so much that they must have caught the attention of the owners of KFC and said, hey, who's this crazy boxing champion who goes into KFC every day and spends £1,000 in KFC?
Your fighter going to a full-on camp.
That was a pun, by the way. Yeah.
Read that. Your fighter going into a camp full-on KFC. No worries.
No, man. I remember promoting Evander Holyfield back in the day. And I remember Evander doing a fight with Evander in in Copenhagen. We got all this amazing Scandinavian food for him out there, and he's gone to the driver and said, go and pick us a Burger King. You know, that was Evander. You know, so you know, everyone's got their own diets.
If it works for Evander, it can work for Chris.
The real deal.
And of course, over the last few days, Conor BENN has released a statement. Do you see the fight with him and Eubank down the line still happening or materialising to anything?
I think we like we said, unfortunately, that very sad day with the press conference, the statement was that we'll be following the situation, and we're still doing that. That situation seems to be a very long situation. It's something that's frustrating for everyone, but at the same time, we've got to focus now on Smith, 100% on Smith, Eubank Smith. Massive event on Sky Box Office on the 21st of January from Manchester. So,
kicking off 2023 with 2 pay-per-view events within 2 months, going from strength to strength, and also the Channel 5 fighters aren't doing too bad either. Josh Kelly back in contention, British champion. What next for young Josh? Because a lot will write him off before the fight.
Yeah, I'm still celebrating. So I'm meeting Adam Booth next week. We'll have a chat. What's on the cards? As it was a fantastic performance, and he's a great fighter, and I'm looking forward to a big 2023.
And also the Channel 5 brand, Harlem Eubank, another Eubank in the mix.
Yeah, he's really come through. I mean, that's one where when we started with him a year and a half ago, he kicked off on an undercard in Latvia, and he's come through fight by fight, better and better. Credit to Tom Farrell, did well in the early rounds, and then you saw the class of Eubank coming through, and you see the way he's developing under Adam Booth, and it's great to watch, and it's a pleasure. I love those sort of journeys where you watch a fighter go through the card. And then now headline, and obviously 1.88 million viewers. Yeah, when I got the number, I was expecting great numbers, of course, but I was like, it must be a mistake. And I was like, wow, that's big. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting 2023.
Just talking on the 140s, we've got the likes of Dalton Smith, we've got the likes of Adam Azim, all domestic clashes, all prospects in up and come. Could be interesting for Harlem over the next few years.
Yeah, I mean, Azim's a very interesting fight, and Dalton Smith, and there's big fights out there. It's a weight where it's quite easy to make fights, and he's the type that wants to fight everyone. And he's a really good character as well, Harlem Eubank.
And just lastly, onto the big boys, onto the heavyweights. Of course, Chisora Fury last week. Usyk was ringside, but you have an IBF mandatory with Filip Hrgovic. How's that seem at the moment?
That's that is a big mess, that whole situation. The governing bodies. So from our point of view, it's very plain and simple. It was. It was almost coming up to 2 years ago that they announced that Filip Hrgovic should box for the final eliminator. So here we are, 2 years later, in the mandatory, and they've announced that he's the mandatory for the title. So, we don't want to rain on anyone's big party here, but at the same time, I don't see the fight announced. So, we can only look after our guy within the rules.
Would that be something that you enforce, or would you be looking to give Filip a tune-up before a big fight?
No, I mean, but look, boxing, once you get that opportunity, you have to try and enforce it. And, that's something that we leave to our lawyers to do.
And of course, lastly, 2022 was a massive year. Channel 5, the Misfits, the pay-per-view cards. What can we look forward to next for Sauerland Boxing 2023?
We're just very excited the way things have gone since obviously the Wasserman deal and putting on more and more cards, and I think we did 27 events this year. It's going to be more next year.
Well, next year. Thank you for your time, Kalle. Have a good year. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.